Good evening, race fans. Welcome round number 3. Tonight, 21 drivers making the trip out east this week from Auto Club to Homestead Miami Speedway. 21 drivers on track right now for the third round of the Cyber Thunder Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series, live here on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. Familiar faces, familiar places. As usual, got Crank Bell, myself, Tom Richter, out here in the Cyber booth here tonight, and special guest from Mad Sim Racing, Tyler Beeman, joining us out here tonight. A little bit over 10 minutes remaining in practice. Zach Chahal is currently sitting atop the speed charts. Certainly going to have to see who can't come away with the victory out here tonight as they lead the top of the speed charts for Shavoda Motorsports. Crank, Tyler, certainly a pleasure to have you guys out here. Looking forward to a great race tonight with you guys.
Yeah, always a good time. Glad to be back with you, Tom. Love calling these races, love the series, and it's good to have Tyler out here, series and league veteran, to join us this week, and look for some exciting calls out of him too.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me out here, getting off the track, and looking forward to an exciting night race here at Homestead. I think we've got a solid field, and looking forward to see how these cars handle out here.
Yeah, and the first 2 races of the season has already seen 2 different winners coming out to victory lane. First race that we ran at Daytona, Jerry Isaacs coming home with the victory, and last week's winner, Cole Gray, currently sitting 9th on the charts, just a little bit over a 10th behind Zach Chahalis out here tonight in Homestead Miami Speedway.
Yeah, I think tonight's going to be a lot like what we saw last week at Auto Club. You know, you got to save your tires. It's going to be about who can conserve the tires and be there at the end, keep the car under you. I know a lot of the drivers were talking about how loose the setup is tonight, especially on new tires. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, I was talking to my teammate Jerry Isaacs just before coming in here with you guys, and he's telling me that the car is very loose off of turn 4, and that's what he's experiencing, at least in his practice session. It'll be interesting to see if we can get a repeat winner. Cole is looking good as always, and Jerry's up there on the charts. See if these guys can get a second bag of Bullydog coffee. I know they've already got a set from winning their first 2 races.
Yeah, winner of each race this season going to be coming home with the trophy of a pound of Bullydog coffee. You can go ahead over to bullydogcoffeecompany.com and go ahead and take a look at their selections. We had Patrick Bowler on here last week doing a pre-race interview with Crank Bell, going over a lot of their selections and the different options that they have. But we're going to slide over here to YouTube land. See Andrew out here. See Patrick. See Bill. See John. A lot of familiar faces out there as well. We're going to go ahead and get our pre-race picks in here. All of YouTube, who you guys got here tonight? Who you guys got going to victory lane? Do you got a third first-time winner out here tonight in the Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series? Or are we going to see a repeat winner of Jerry or Cole going out to victory lane out here tonight? Tyler, Crank, who do you guys got going to victory lane?
I'm going to go with the number 28 of Bill Jett. He's looking fast on the charts right now, and I know from racing with him at Daytona and just watching and racing with him in the league in general, I think he's due to win tonight in this particular series as well.
Yeah, I'm going to put my money on Eric Moore tonight. He was our runner-up last week. These tracks really seem to suit his style of driving. He's really good at saving tires, and I think we'll see some long green flag runs here tonight. And I think he's going to finally quit being a bridesmaid and take over that top spot tonight.
Very possible. Going back to Tyler's pick a second ago, Bill Jetty, currently the points leader for the Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series, coming away with a 4th place finish at Daytona and a 5th place finish last week at Auto Club. Only driver in the field here tonight to have a top 5 out of the first 2 races on the season, and he sits atop your point standings here. Eric Moore so close last week. Thought maybe last week was going to be the week that he got it done. But scrolling down the charts down here, you know what? I think I'm going to have to jump on that Eric Moore bandwagon. I think I'm going to have to say that we're going to see the 5 go to victory lane out here tonight. So close so many times over the course of the past couple seasons to go into victory lane.
Yeah, so while we're talking about the start of the race and how loose these cars are, especially coming out of turn 3 through the center there, going into turn 4, want to mention that our Bullydog Coffee Company partner, Patrick, has also thrown out there, promised to donate another $20 to Love a Pit Rescue if these guys can keep it clean and go caution-free for the first 20 laps. So 20 green flag laps, he's going to donate another $20 to the Love a Pit Rescue. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully, the guys can keep it clean.
Yeah, Crank, and this kind of goes back to what we were talking about last week. He made a donation to a pit rescue last week for a Bullydog Coffee Company car going to Victory Lane, and that was Cole Gray and the number 3 machine going out there in Victory Lane. So really a great organization. Go ahead, head over to their website, bullydogcoffeecompany.com. See what they got. Support a great cause. Taking a look over here in the YouTube chat box, we got Andrew Koska over here. He says he wants anybody from MSR. I think they brought out the blue and yellow cars. They brought the cheap cars this week. Michael Kelly out here saying he wants to see Cole Gray, and Patrick says he wants Dusty or Cole to bring home a company victory for him tonight. Gonna go ahead and take a look at your current point standings here on the side of the screen. Currently sitting atop of the point standings charts. Currently got Bill Jetty, only driver, as we were talking about, to bring home a top 5 in both first 2 races of the season. He's followed closely by Jerry Isaacs. David Gainforth last week with his first podium finish in the series. Paul Turner and Eric Moore, your current top 5 in the standings. And at the end of May, it will be the top 6 drivers in points that will go on to fight for a championship for the Bullydog Coffee Company Series.
Listen, man, this series has proven to run tight races across the points battles. Last season, it came right down to the last race. I think there were 4 or 5 guys fighting for those transfer spots to get into the playoffs. I think the way the playoffs work for these guys is the top 6 drivers in the standings move on and get to race for a chance at the championship. And I know we've only done 2 races so far, but there's pretty much only 10 points separating the top 9 drivers again. So I expect to see that just kind of shuffle back and forth. A lot of drivers moving up and down throughout the season and remain close.
Yeah, and pulling up our schedule of events here for the 2021 season 1 schedule, going to a lot of different tracks over the next couple of weeks. Next week we are at Dover International Speedway, followed by Chicago and then Iowa. Those are the next 3 races that we do have coming up. So some very different style tracks of racing. Next 3 races on the schedule here. And then the races that are highlighted in green, those are going to be our chase races where the top 6 drivers in points do compete for a championship for the Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series here every Wednesday night from now until June 30th at Charlotte Motor Speedway on the Cyber Thunder Broadcasting Network. Just about 2 minutes to go here in practice here. Zach Chahalis continues to lead over Bill Jetty, teammate in the Shavota Motorsports Garage, over Eric Moore, Dusty Martin, and Rob Rogerson, coming around the top 5 currently. 2 minutes to qualify, and we are going to go ahead and throw a trackside for the playing of tonight's national anthem, and we'll be back to bring you full qualifying.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
All right, back live at the Homestead Miami Speedway. National anthem playing over the loudspeakers as practice begins to wind down with just 20 seconds remaining here. And so just setting the field here real quick, 75 laps around this 1.5 mile speedway out here tonight. 1.5 mile speedway, 150 miles around this racetrack. And the first race here was in 1995, Xfinity Series race. Dale Jarrett, first winner out here.
Yeah, it looks like they're wrapping up the happy hour practice here. We're going to be switching over to qualifying. So Zach Jahalis, Bill Jetty, Eric Moore were your top three in the happy hour practice. I think most of those times that they turned were early in the practice. Seemed like things were starting to slow down as the cars tightened up just a little bit as darkness starts to fall over the track.
Yeah, and that was something that I know Tyler took a couple of laps out here, and you took a couple of laps as well as we're watching Zach roll out on the access road out of turns 1 and 2 for the first time tonight. You guys were talking about how loose it is coming off turn 4, and that's going to be something that we have to watch these guys do all night tonight.
Yeah, I was just watching that as practice came to a close, a car kind of getting loose coming out of the corner, and that's going to be interesting to watch. Are they going to push early? Are they going to try to conserve tires? I know we saw that in our speedway race last night in the trucks. I think we'll see some guys going for it and some guys kind of lifting a little early and saving their tires and going for the long run. This series, as a driver in the last season, was very well known for its long green runs.
Yeah, you and Crank have both kind of cut your teeth going through this series, and Tyler, you still run over here occasionally in select races for the Wednesday night series. It really does prepare you for our other series that Cyber Thunder does have to offer, because this series is a driver developmental series that allows drivers come out here and win races and get them up front and get them the experience leading laps, as we see Zachy C going up to the top of the charts there, only to be trumped by Eric Moore on the first lap. See what Zach can do on his second lap.
Yeah, you guys' pick for Eric is looking very good right now. He's only one in the 32s right now as far as qualifying.
Yeah, we'll see if they can improve on that on their second lap. I would expect they do.
Yeah.
As the car doesn't get out from under him a little bit there. So going back to what you were talking about, Tyler, as far as saving your tires or pushing it and going flat out early on, I think turns 3 and 4 are going to be what the deciding factor is here. I mean, if you're pushing hard and you go down to the bottom, you rotate through, you're going to have your hands full the entire race trying to hang on to it. I think the safe bet is probably to run middle to high line all the way around, but that's going to force you to eat your front tires off a little bit more as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, see if they all get in line and run one line or if they take those multiple lines and do a little side by side racing.
Focused here out of turn number 4, big slide, and going to be contact on the wall with the number 3 machine out of turn number 4. We were just talking about how loose these cars are coming out of turn number 4. He's going to go ahead, head back down to pit road, and he's going to make another attempt at that. See if looks like Dusty Martin currently on track, posting his first lap 7th on the board, just 2/10 off Zach Jahalis, currently with a 32.9.
Dusty has shown a lot of speed. He's running that Bullydog Coffee Company paint scheme. He was our pole setter last week. Unfortunately, had a little bit of problems. I think he got into the wall a little bit and damaged his car and knocked him off the pace. And we talked about it. You know, you got to finish the race and be fast at the same time before you'll start seeing those wins come. But he goes to the top of the charts there on his second run, I believe, second lap, I believe it is, with a 32.881.
He does, and another slider out of turn number 4. Actually, looks like John was wrapping up both of his laps there, headed down into pit road, and it looks like that's going to be Cole is still out on track here. We're going to go ahead follow Cole around here with a minute remaining in qualifying.
Yeah, Cole took kind of a middle lane line through 1 and 2 there. I don't think that's where the speed's at. I think he's just trying to get a lap time down so he can get somewhere in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, we saw a big slide out of his car the first time that he attempted his qualifying lap. Currently sitting 11th on the board, a little bit over a half second behind the current pole sitter provisionally of the 35 Dusty Martin. So going to be a long road for Cole to drive down tonight, trying to find his way through the field. 75 laps, certainly long enough that he can go out there and find his way to the front before the end of the night is over and done with. Qualifying wrapping up, field's going to head down to pit road behind the iRacing.com pace car, and we're going to go ahead and get your starting order situated here. See if we can't get Crank and Tyler down there on pit road to bring us through our starting order here.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, Dusty Martin, he has the fast time of the 32.881. He will once again be your pole setter. That's 2 weeks in a row for him. Followed by Zach Chahalis in second on the outside of the front row. Eric Moore is going to start third with David Rogerson to his outside. And then we got Bill Jetty rounding out the top 5.
Robert Rogerson starting 6th place, Dalton Carter in 7th place, David Gainforth in 8th, Matt Watford in 9th, and Jerry Isaacs rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, Cole Gray is going to be starting in 11th there. And we got Patrick Stein to his outside, and Mark Schrader will be starting in 13th. That was the last driver that ended up taking a time. The rest of the field will be set with Jason Dinsmore, and Paul Turner rounding out your top 15.
Finishing out the field, John Sanu in 16th, Brian Dorsey 17th, David Contreras 18th, Skip Me in 19th, and Michael Stiverson in 20th.
So that's a pretty strong field. We've got 20 drivers on the grid, 19 not counting you. Let's talk about David Gainforth a little bit. Starting out in 8th again this week. He starting top 10. Came away with a 3rd place podium finish last week. It was great talking to him. He's shown a lot of improvement over the last season and really starting to draw some attention to himself.
Yeah, I've liked racing with David. He's always there. He's always around and always a pleasure to race against in any of the series out here. And good to see him starting in the top 10 and hopefully going for another podium.
Yeah, Dave Gameforth certainly shown a lot of improvement, and that's really what this Rising Stars series is all about, is getting these guys up here, winning races and getting them up front and leading laps as the pace car begins to roll off pit road here for the first time for 75 laps around this 1.5 mile speedway in South Florida here tonight. Checking out here one more time in the YouTube chat box. We'll check in here occasionally throughout the night. Go ahead, head over to bullydogcoffeecompany.com. Use coupon code Homestead for $3 off your first order. Well, Crank, we've waited a week to do this again. Feels like it was just yesterday we were out here, but on the West Coast that time, we waited a week to see Dusty Martin and Zach Chahalis lead us to the green flag for the first time out here tonight. Are you guys want to go racing here?
I'm ready to go. I can't wait to see how these things settle in on this first lap. Do they stay 2x2? Do they cluster up, or do they get single file?
Well, we're about to find out.
And the old Mustang pulls off down to pit road. Green flag, they're winding them up. Looks like a pretty clean start, at least up front. From what I can see, Zach Chahalis looked like he might have missed a gear there. Dusty Martin pulls out to a good lead going into 1.
24's recovered a little bit on the high side. He's going to stay high of the 28. Looks like the number 5 is going to maintain the lead. 28 storming down low. Sorry, the 35 in the lead, it looks like.
Into turn number 3 for the first time out here tonight, just like last week. Certainly looks like Dusty Martin going to be bringing us to the green flag for the first time. He's going to be leading lap number 1, and we are in the 20-lap challenge here. First 20 laps, they stay green. We did make a donation to Love a Pit Rescue. $20 for 20 green flag laps here to start the race. See if these guys can't get that done.
Well, I'm pulling for them. I hope they hang on to it, take their time, drive it nice and easy, keep the cars under them, and we stay green the whole time. Dusty Martin still your leader there, followed by Eric Moore, his teammate. Fell right in behind him, and looks like Zach Chahalis has settled it back down and has his teammate Bill Jett right behind him in 4th.
Definitely think this series can get this 20-lap challenge complete. It's a clean series. I'm watching the number 53 Goodwrench car of Dalton Carter. He fell back a little bit there that first lap or two, and he's just recovered. It looked like he slid up into the wall a touch. I see the caution is out.
Oh, that's unfortunate. We didn't make it to 20 laps. Looks like the 09 was involved there. 86, John Sanu probably.
Headed back out of here for turn number 4. Going to be taking a look at the caution and what brought out the caution for the first time tonight. See David Contreras and John Sanu headed down here. It looks like maybe Mark Schrader got into the wall, and then just big pile up behind them. Nice job by Paul Turner, got a little bit of damage. Nice wreck avoidance by him, though, trying to come through the accident there. For the first time, Yellow Silk's going to be over the speedway.
Yeah, that's something I was hearing from my team basically before this race. These cars stick to the wall. Once you hit it, it's glued there for a minute. Looks like that's what happened to Mark Schrader.
Yeah, I mean, he came out of the turn and he had control of the car, but like you said, he just touched that outside wall, and the way that these ARCA cars are skewed out, it really just pulls you right up into the wall, and you have to slow way down to easily come off the wall and not cause yourself more problems.
Looking at it, all these drivers coming to pit road. A little bit of indecisiveness in between the 5 and the 35, maybe trying to fake each other out. Seeing after 5 laps who decides to come down to pit road. We'll see who wins the race off pit road here. But that's going to give the lead to Bill Jetty and Dave Rogerson and Rob Rogerson, as it looks like they are the 3 drivers that elected to stay out on this first caution.
Watching everybody take tires as they're in pit road. I'm seeing all the leaders that came in taking, looks like 4 tires for each of them.
Foreign fuel for the entire field. Everybody's going to be coming off pit road as we take a look at the field coming off pit road here. Jerry Isaacs and Dalton Carter and David Contreras running out the back of this field here. And that's going to... I'm sorry, Crank.
It looks like we have 4 cars that stayed out there. Brian Dorsey stayed out on track as well.
And that's going to put your points leader coming into tonight's race on the inside or outside lane for this first restart of the night. That's going to put Bill Jetty up here. Going to give him a very critical bonus point for leading a lap. And, you know, we talked about it last season, or last race, Crank, that it's hard to kind of put all these small little 1-point bonuses, 2-point bonuses together. But at the end of the season, we saw the points battle between Justin Gross and Charles Gettings last season come down to just 4-point battle difference for the championship. So every single point here matters, even only on the 3rd race of the season.
Absolutely. We talked about it in pre-race, how close they are in the standings. I know it's only been 2 races, like we said, but that historically carries out throughout the entire season, and every one of these little bonus points, whether it's leading a lap or leading the most laps, every one of them matters and can be the difference between a championship and not.
Yeah, it's one of the best things about this series. The field is limited, and it's not quite as large as our very large Tuesday and Thursday fields, but it lets the guys that might be just starting in iRacing or just starting in league racing have a pretty competitive season. I know as a pretty much full-time driver last season, the top 10 in points, it was close right to the wire.
Yeah, it really was. And the battle for the transfer spot really heated up towards the end of last season with, I think it was 4 drivers trying to make it in for the final transfer spot to fight for a championship. And this is a very different this is a very different race to the championship than our other series. You know, this is just a straight 4 races, top 6 in points at the end of the 4 races here. As it looks like maybe Bill might be electing to take the high line here on this restart. He's continuing to hold the high line here into turn 1.
Yeah, I think Bill is going to take the high line, so this is going to be interesting. I think they had about 4 laps on their tires under green. We got 3 guys that stayed out there: Bill Jetty, David Rogerson, and Robert Rogerson, and then we've got the pole setter 35 of Dusty Martin and that Bullydog Coffee Company car right behind them. So we'll see how long they can hold those new tires off.
You've got the Rogerson brothers holding the low line. First 2 cars on the low line. It'll be interesting to see how they work together.
Well, we're going to restack, we're going to repack, we're going to come around turns 3 and 4. Try this again, shall we? Patrick says, let's try it again, guys. Let's try it again, Patrick. Let's see if we can't get some green flag racing in here tonight from Homestead Miami Speedway. Coming to the green.
Pace car pulls off, and we are green. Everybody gets a nice start up front. We'll see if that outside line works for the 28. I think it probably will. I don't think Rogersons are going to push the issue there yet. But I bet Dusty Martin and Eric Moore on those fresher tires, they're going to be pushing hard to get back up front. We'll see if they can hang on to it. It's a dangerous situation to be pushing on those fresh tires. They're pretty slick the first couple laps.
Yeah, it's either 28's pulling a little bit of a gap there, at least for the time being. Cluster of cars behind him kind of shuffling. I see the Rogerson brothers holding high and low now. Oh, we got a wreck behind them. Looked like the 3 car involved in that.
Yeah, I saw the 3 get a run on his teammate there, the number 5 of Eric Moore, and he backed off, and I think it just upset his car a little bit. And like I said, on those new tires, when your car gets out of shape a little bit, it's hard to hang on to it. He came around a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that actually that bad a wreck at all. I think he'll be just fine. Thankfully, no hard impact through that.
Going on board with Cole Gray, coming through turns 3 and 4. Looks like he might have gotten just a little bit loose. Does a little 360. Nice job by the entire field coming around, avoiding him. Looks like he's just going to heat those tires up doing a 360, and he's going to carry on his way here.
Yeah, that could have been much worse. That was probably a relief for Cole and everybody involved, and especially Bullydog Coffee Company.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know Patrick was down there. If Patrick was sitting down, I think that got him up on his feet, ready to see if Cole was able to hang on to that. 10 laps down here on the board. Second caution of the night as Bill Jetty continues to lead over Rob and David Rogerson.
Kind of incident where you learn from it and you learn your limits in this particular car in this particular race tonight. And I think everyone will adjust to that.
Looks like John Sanu was a lucky dog candidate there. He's going to come back around the pace car and get one of his laps back. He was 2 down after that initial caution we had.
Yeah, and don't forget about the fast repair that these guys do have. They have 1 roll of flex tape that they can go ahead and use at any point throughout the race as they need it. So if they get caught up in a wreck, does not necessarily mean that their night is over. Go down there, and there are no tire limits as well, so these guys can come down pit road as many times throughout the course of the event as they would like to.
And with all that said, aside from Cole going to the back, I mean, with minor damage to him and maybe David Gainforth got into him a little bit, but this is basically going to be an identical reset to what we had on the last start. I think Zach Chahalis might have gained a spot on Eric Moore. That's the only difference in the top 5.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see here if Bill decides to take the top side again. It did work out on the last restart. They're going to be stacked up the same way that they were last time by at that restart. So we're going to have to see if Bill decides, maybe he's just testing something, seeing if that's going to be the way to go. Maybe he elects to take the bottom on this restart.
Yeah, I definitely think that's what I would do. I mean, he knows the high side worked out pretty well for him, but if it were me, I would say, hey, it's early. I get a chance right here back to back. Let's see what the low side does too.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get the opportunity to test it out. He pulled a slight gap there on that short restart, and it'll be interesting to see if he can do that again.
Currently, we still have 16 drivers on the lead lap. Like I mentioned, Johnson New is still 1 lap down, and it looks like one of our fan favorites, old Grandpa Paul Turner, had some connection issues and fell out, but he has reconnected, and then it's going to be back on track here directly.
Light's going to be going out atop the iRacing.com pace car, 1 lap to green this time by, and watching for Bill going through that choose cone down there past the start finish line. Looks like he's electing to take the top shelf of the speedway here once again.
Yeah, it worked before. He's going to do it again, and we're kind of getting teased with these short runs, but we're seeing some good racing in these runs that we're getting.
We haven't mentioned much about the Mad Sim racers yet, but I think they're all just kind of biding their time, Tyler. We've got Jerry Isaac, Patrick Stein, David Contreras all kind of running together, just hanging out and letting the laps come to them. I think's the plan.
Yeah, Patrick, as a team owner and teammate of Patrick, he's always very cautious. And Jerry Isaacs, from his win at Daytona to his times tonight and in the league in general, I can't speak any more highly of how Jerry Isaacs has developed since joining Cyber Thunder.
Yeah, he's really coming into his own this season, I'm sure. That win at Daytona really was a confidence booster.
Oh, yeah.
Pace car's off, green flag's out. Looks like Bill Jetty gets another pretty good jump there.
Into turn number 1 for the 14th time tonight. Bill Jetty with about a half a car length lead over Rob and David Rogerson. See how long it takes Dusty Martin to try to use those 4 fresh tires that he took on lap number 5. See what the closing rate is there as Bill continues to lead over Rob Rogerson into turn number 3.
Into 3, Jet leads. The Rogerson brothers are 2 and 3. It looks like first and second are going to be separated quite a bit, and then from their back, they're going to start battling pretty closely, 2 by 2, going into turn 1.
Yep, keeping an eye on Zach Chahalis and Dusty Martin down here, and the third place driver. You see the 26 on the side of that car. That's the 37. That is David Rogerson. Out of turn number 2, these guys are all battling for position, as we're going to back it up just a tiny bit more for Zach Chahalis and Eric Moore and Dusty Martin. All these guys, Matt Watford now poking his nose in the picture, trying to battle for what will be the 4th position.
Yeah, this is the first batch of guys on the new tires, and they're battling a little harder than I would want to at this point. Like you said, newcomer Matt Watford sticking his nose in there. They were side by side, 2 lanes back for a while. Matt has a run on the 35, makes it stick, gets underneath, and takes over that position.
Another single file up, it looks like, in the top 6, 7. But I see the 24 and Mr. Watford are storming their way up there.
Yeah, they certainly are doing that, and something that, we started a new season, new faces, new places, new drivers going to new teams. One of the teams coming out really strong throughout the course of the season has been Shavoda Motorsports, as we see Bill currently losing the lead to Rob Rogerson under green flag conditions, and Zach Chahalis already finding his way into victory lane here early in the season. Rob Rogerson leads us under green flag conditions at Homestead.
Looking back in the pack there, like we talked about, Patrick Stein, David Contreras kind of mind their business. They're trying to be safe and hang on, but they're getting some pressure from behind, guys trying to get around them, and it's not a situation I'd want to be in.
Yeah, I see the 3 of Cole Gray trying to make up some ground after that last accident, and in the 62 as well on David Contreras. David has got to be cautious here. We know he used his 1 fast repair after that first caution.
Yeah, Cole Gray and Patrick Stein battling down here into turn number 3. Cole Gray trying to find his way forward was one of the guys that did a little spinaroo about 5 laps ago. as we have another battle going on here for the lead again between Rob Rogerson, Bill Jetty, and now Zach Chahalis making his way up into the third place spot, trying to find their way up here. And the 4 tires on the 35 has really not moved him forward as quickly as I thought it would, but it has benefited the 15 of Matt Wofford.
Yeah, I think we're going to be talking about that a little later on too with the comers and goers we'd mentioned early on. Who's going to push it early on those fresher tires and who's going to try to conserve, and I think that's what we're seeing here. I think the Shavoda guys, the 28 and the 24, are hanging out there with Matt and the 15th, trying to get all they can right as soon as they can. While I think the long shot guys, the Dusty Martin, Eric Moore, have kind of backed it up with David Rogerson there, and they're like, let's just hang on to these tires and let this play out a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And, Tyler and Crank, something that I want to ask you guys is, we're starting a new season here. We were just talking about it a second ago. New drivers going to new places. Over the course of the off season, to see big battle back here between Eric and Dusty. You take a look in your mirror and you see Matt Wofford coming up. Matt did not run with us last year as Mark Schrader, a lot of new faces out here in the Cyber Thunder Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series. You see a new face in your mirror. Do you race them any differently? Do you give them any extra room until you know how they're going to race you?
Yeah, for sure. I think so. I mean, I try to run my lines, but when you get those new guys come in, you never know what's going on. When I see them coming up on me in my mirror, I mean, you can be fast, but you can lose control, and you don't know what these guys are about. I remember I would pucker up. I'd start counting the stitches in my seat, trying to hang on and hope I didn't get taken out.
Well,
Yeah,
Matt, I'm sorry, Tyler.
I was gonna say I'd have to agree. I mean, I'm with you on that. Any new face, it's just like you're in an official iRacing session until they become a part of the league family. But most of them do, and it's a good group to have in.
Yeah, it really is. And Matt Wofford already been a strong contender out here through the first 3 races, 2 races, third race here tonight of the Cyber Thunder Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series, and certainly been making a name for himself. He did have that little spin at Daytona 2 weeks ago, coming through the tri-oval, but he battled back, and now he's currently running in the 4th position, running very respectably out here tonight at Homestead.
Pretty good battle back here, 7th, 8th, 9th place. Around that spot, David Gameforth, he's been kind of pinched down low, not being able to get up, and it's been getting his car a little upset, but a few guys have been able to make it back by him. Dalton Carter on the move, trying to get towards the front there, and Brian Dorsey coming up behind David right now. He's got a pretty good run going into turn 3.
Yeah, Brian Dorsey, longtime driver over here in the Cyber Thunder Racing League. Always good to see Brian out here having a good race, currently running in the 10th position. One of those drivers that we probably don't talk about enough. He's always there running at the end. Very rarely, if ever, does Brian claim a caution or cause a caution. As you see a little bit of contact behind him, but always good to see Brian. And Brian might be our spotlight driver here in a little bit, but for the time being, he's running really tough right now behind Dalton Carter in that 53 machine.
A lot of tight racing back there. We just watched, I believe, or at least I saw the 09 of David Contreras, and that blue and yellow slid up a little bit. I know David for road racing at Mad Sim Racing, and he is a fierce competitor. He's going to get every bit he can out of the car, and maybe a little extra.
Yeah, and Tyler, Mad Sim Racing is known for their road efforts, and recently their switch over into the oval side of things, the kind of hybrid program that you guys got going on. We're paired up with you over here at Cyber. You would probably be able to provide some more insight about this. Do you push more? Is there more room for error on the oval side of things, or is there more room for error on the road side of things?
Oh, geez. I think it depends on where you are in traffic. I think if you're in an oval race like this and you're really bunched together in a pack, there's little margin for error. Whereas on a road course, you can run off into the sand if you need to and run off track a little bit and kind of recover and keep going. David Contreras, for example, he's one of our guys that just about 100% road. For example, he won the 12 Hours of Bathurst just this past weekend. But he's come over here to the oval side, and you see he's always a win contender on the road, but he's running 13th place here in the oval. So it's interesting to see that try to translate over into a track like Homestead. It's not quite the same.
Yeah, two very different styles of racing: road racing, dirt racing, short track racing, and then oval racing. All on the iRacing.com platform. Whatever you want, we'll have it over here at Cyber Thunder Racing League or Mad Sim Racing. Go ahead, head over to our website, head over to Mad Sim's site, and get started with one of our groups over here. Love to have you out here on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, or even a Monday night if you're fancying some left and right turns.
So look, guys, we're going to be coming up on the halfway point in the race here in about 3 or 4 laps. Looks like for the most part, guys have kind of single filed out and they're content running their race. We are seeing some different lines being ran, but I think everybody is kind of content with settling in and turning some laps, clicking them off as we go here.
Yeah, that top 4, they're pretty much evenly spaced out right now and standing where they were. We got Robert Rogerson in the lead, Bill Jedd in second, Zach Jahalis in third, and they're pretty much cruising along right now. A little bit closer battles deeper in the field, but pretty steady at the front right now.
Yeah, I see Eric Moore picked up another position there. He's up to 4th, got by Matt Wofford, which makes me wonder if that hard push at the beginning of the run didn't really take its toll on Matt's tires.
Yeah, and really good as we come around to start lap number 30 at Homestead Miami Speedway here tonight. Really good to see Rob Rogerson leading these laps. That's what this series is designed to do. Get these guys out front, get them leading laps, get them winning races in the Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Star Series, and Rob Rogerson taking full advantage of that opportunity here tonight as he leads for lap number 30.
Watching the 101 of David Gainforth, who's trying to get by the 26th of David Rogerson, trying to move up into 7th place.
I'm seeing double.
Yeah, so I was just about to say 2 Crown Royal Ford Fusions.
You know it goes good in coffee is Crown Royal. I think Crank was prepping that before.
Oh yeah. I didn't have any Crown Royal though. I don't remember what the whiskey was that I had, but I did have some of that good Bullydog Company coffee. I'm drinking the Big Head tonight, and it is delicious.
Anybody else who wants to go ahead and try a batch of their coffee, head on over to bullydogcoffeecompany.com. Use promo code HOMESTEAD for $3 off your order. That's going to be good until next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we'll have another coupon code for you to use for that week.
Looks like I'm still watching that same battle between these Crown Royal cars. And geez, David Gainforth looks like he's got it. Yeah, I was going to say he's got it now. The 26 is fighting hard, though, on that midline.
It's a battle of the Canadian whiskeys.
We noticed the pattern last night, Crank, and tonight the Canadian whiskeys are going on board, but sliding back here behind the Canadian whiskeys is Cole Gray and Jason Dinsmore. Jason Dinsmore coming so close to winning the race last week, came up just 4 laps short, just a little bit short on fuel. Big battle between him and Cole Gray currently for what will be the 10th position. Give it to Cole Gray currently out of turn number 4.
Yeah, I've been watching with another eye. Cole's been working on that for a bit. I'm sure he's glad to get that overtake. A couple of the Mad Sim Racing blue and yellows are back there still trying to fight their way up. Kind of stuck where they are at the moment. Now fighting the 53 Wrangler Chevy.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the guys that pushed pretty hard at the beginning of that start to really back up now. 26 on his car there, 37 David Rogerson has been giving up spots left and right. Brian Dorsey got by him. He's about to lose another position to Cole Gray here. And then Dalton Carter in the 53, I think he was pushing pretty hard there early on, and he's backed all the way up to 12th position now.
Yeah, you know what, Crank, though? I mean, that's kind of the mental game that the repeat cautions gives these guys is, they go in here. We had 2 cautions within the first 10 laps. Since then, we've run 25 green flag laps. as we continue around green here with some great racing on the speedway. You know, maybe those guys thought that, you know, they only have another 3 or 4 laps before we get another caution, and maybe that's what caused them to burn up their stuff a little bit sooner than they wanted to.
Yeah, I could speak for myself. It was a weakness in especially oval racing and my racing in Cyber Thunder. It's easy to get into that locked-in race mode and just go for the pass, stay on the car's bumper. It takes a lot of discipline to save those tires sometimes, at least for me.
No, you're 100% right, Tyler. That is key. Once you figure out how to do that and be disciplined and take care of your car, take care of your tires, it sets you up for the long run. And even though you might have a couple cautions back to back, inevitably, especially in this series, you are going to have a long run. So as we mentioned, Cole Gray continuing to move up. He was the cause of that last caution, and he is actually on fresher tires than most anybody in the field. He's got 27 laps on these tires, where most guys have 32 to 33 laps on their tires.
Moving back up to the race lead, you're not missing a beat. Rob Rogerson currently leads over Zach Chahalis about 0.8 of a second out of turn number 4 as we come around. Click off lap number 37, start lap number 38 here. And I got to imagine that they're probably going to be thinking about pitting here. Taking a look over here once more at the YouTube chat box. See Joe Frazier out here with Love a Pit Rescue already headed out here tonight. Love a Pit Rescue on the back of that 35 machine. Certainly a great organization, and unfortunately, we did not meet the 20 green flag lap challenge for the first 20 laps of the race, but we've been green flag ever since. For loveapitrescue.com, head over there, take a look at their organization, and consider making a donation to that wonderful group. Good people doing great things for a great cause.
Oh, I was watching the number 5 car of Eric Moore because it looked like he was inching up towards Bill in the 28, and he just tapped the wall. Thankfully, he handled it well and didn't get stuck on the wall, but he lost a little bit of space there as he was closing in on position 3. He's going to maintain position 4.
Where is old Dusty running? Dusty's running in the top 5. Who's behind him? Matt Wofford. Let's see if we can't find these guys here. A little bit of a close call there between the 101 going on board here with David Gameforth running a little bit higher line than Matt Wofford here. Progressive banking at the speedway, which was implemented in 2003, was one of the first tracks to use progressive banking, and certainly a lot of different lines going on here. David Gameforth working that top shelf of the speedway, trying to get that big momentum run off turn number 4, see if he can't get a nose up there on the exit.
Hey guys, we saw a change for the lead there, as Bob Roderson mentioned. As we got to the halfway point there, he peeled off, came down to pit road, surrendered the lead to Zach Chahalis. So Bob Roderson is going to be coming back out on fresh tires. It is showing him a lap down as of now, though.
First car on pit road. We will have to see if that brings the rest of the field down pit road as well. He's going to be gaining probably about 2 seconds a lap on these cars with older tires.
We're on track on the same run of tires and fuel from 5th to 11th. We're in a little bit of a cluster there. We were just following it on board with David Gameforth. Very close, almost 3 wide now, looking at 5th position through 11th. Very tight. That's going to be interesting if most of those guys pit together.
So I'll tell you guys, with the little bit of testing I did earlier, I think these guys that pitted a little later, they can probably make it the whole way on fuel. So it'll be interesting to see if they can make it the rest, or if they do make it the rest of the way, if we don't have a caution, if everybody stays out. Those 2 seconds a lap, even being a lap down, is going to be hard to make up.
Yeah, we almost saw that last week. We're looking at him here. Jason Dinsmore came up just a handful of laps short from coming away with his first Cyber Thunder Racing League victory. And ultimately a great battle between Eric Moore and Cole Gray for the win at Auto Club. But Jason Dinsmore had a strong showing out there, and currently having another strong showing out here tonight, currently in the 7th position.
15 of Matt Watford hit pit road that last lap by himself. He's on pit now, taking 4 tires.
Eric Moore has worked his way back by Bill Jetty, and 35 of Dusty Martin's catching as well. Oh, we got the 101 going around.
Ooh. Interesting strategy now. You have Matt Watford just coming off pit road.
Big contact in turn number 1 here this time. We're going to go on board with the number 3 machine. See what Cole saw here headed down into turn number 1. Cole running the top shelf of the speedway. See what happened here. Looks like there might have been a little bit of a slide by David Gameforth there going into turn number 1, but tough break for Cole. Wrong place, wrong time, and a lot of drivers behind him look like they may have gotten messed up with that as well, but I'm sure this is going to cut the race in half, and we're going to see all these guys come down pit road here.
Yeah, it looked like the 101 of Dave Gainsford slid up just a hair, but Cole was closing on him really fast as well. So that's unfortunate for both of those guys. It looked like David Rogerson got caught up in that as well.
See Cole Gray in that number 3. That number 3 machine. Lonely car down here on pit road. Field's going to catch the iRacing.com pace car. And Zach Chahalis, I got to imagine, is going to be bringing the entire field down here to the service. Looks like our free pass recipient is going to be John Sanu, receiving the free pass for the second time out here tonight. That will most likely put him back on the lead lap. As we've got everybody down here on pit road, we're going to take a look at the pit road exit here and see who wins the battle off pit road.
Do a little bit of pit reporting and especially calm our good friends at Bullydog Coffee Company. I'm watching Cole Gray as he came in the pits there, and his car is fully repaired, so he did not, which I think we all wouldn't have thought he would have, used that fast repair for that little tiny incident early on in the race. So he's still in this thing.
Looks like the 24 Zach Chahalis is coming off pit road here, followed by the 5 Eric Moore and Dusty Martin, Bill Jetty. So pretty much the same way they were running when they came in.
So I believe that's going to put Rob Rogerson in a wave around position. So he's going to, unfortunately, most likely be starting at the tail end of the field. So the wave arounds here are going to be Rob Rogerson, Matt Wofford, and most likely Cole Gray. I'm not sure where he is. Yeah, he's right back there. So those guys will be starting from the tail of the field, but on the lead lap. But what a tough break for Rob. He pitted a lap early and unfortunately got bit by a caution. He's not out of it by any stretch, but he's got a hill to climb now at this point of the race.
Yeah, Matt was in pit road when the caution came out. Just talk about luck of the draw, basically, as far as timing.
We've seen pit road be a nuisance to a lot of drivers this season. Gonna take this opportunity and pull up the upcoming events for the next several races here. Next week, live on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network, Dover International Speedway, followed by Chicagoland and Iowa Speedway. Go ahead and hit subscribe and get notified every time we go live here for the Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series every Wednesday night, and be the first to know about the upcoming races and the upcoming challenges that these guys will be having through Bullydog Coffee Company.
Did I hear you say Chicagoland coming up in this series?
I did say Chicagoland. They're looking down the schedule here. Indianapolis, North Wilkesboro, Pocono, headed into our chase. You got Michigan, Kentucky, and another great equalizer, Talladega, followed by Darlington and Charlotte. Charlotte Motor Speedway, the host of several great races here in the Cyber Thunder Racing League in the Rising Stars Series, and certainly looking forward to seeing how these races play out here over the next couple of weeks here as we bring you all the action live every week for every Wednesday night for the series.
I may have to get out on track for Chicagoland. That's where I got my very first Cyber Thunder win in this series last season.
Was it?
Yeah, Chicagoland, and I had the good old Jerry Isaacs in my ear. He had wrecked out of the race and didn't retire. He stayed and supported me as I was stressfully trying to win that race.
I think I remember that one. I remember Crank's first win. I think he got his first win at, I believe it was Auto Club last season as well. And now Crank has found his way into victory lane multiple times across multiple series here in the Cyber Thunder Racing League. So this series is doing what it's designed to do and get you guys up here. And now you guys are series veterans, and we kicked you out of the series. And now you guys are helping me call the races. We're going green here for the third time tonight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting now. We got fresh tires all across the field, it looks like. Going green now. Zach Chahalis on the inside. Eric Moore holding tight on the outside. There wasn't a big jump, so we'll see how they roll through this first 1 and 2. Well, that didn't last long. Zach, you see, pulled him pretty hard on the inside there.
Yeah, 24 cars looking strong into the lead.
About a five car breakaway for Zach Chahalis in that Rainbow Warriors car. Man, that brings us all the way back to the 90s when Jeff Gordon was so dominant in those cars. And Jeff wasn't my favorite driver but at the time, but gotta respect what that guy was able to do, winning 5 championships. 4 championships. I don't know.
A handful of championships.
More than one. Currently Zach leading over Eric Moore and Bill Jetty, now currently still in the picture, and Dusty Martin lurking in the weeds in the 4th position here.
Yeah, we got Jason Dinsmore pushing pretty hard back there. Him and Brian Dorsey side by side now for about 6th place or so.
Oh, Bill Jett loose on exit of 4, but he got it back together. Good save.
Bill Jetty.
Oh, we got a wreck behind him.
We got big time junk behind him, and
I see Patrick Stein involved, the 21, the 15. Oh man, the 15 and the 78 of Rogerson involved in that.
we're gonna back this up, see if we can't find exactly what happened. Saw a slide out of the 21 coming out of turn number 4 here. We'll go on, follow the 21. Looks like he initiates the slide. Looks like he holds on to it, and maybe a little bit of contact between him and the 09 and the 89 coming through here, and then Rob Rogerson coming through here. Just that hole closed up right in the middle there. More contact with the 101 Dave Gainforth. Tough break for him last week. Podium finish in the 3rd place spot at Auto Club, but see who's got a fast repair remaining here at Homestead.
Yeah, I think that's going to affect our Madsen Racing driver David Contreras in that end of the Apex car. I think he's already used his fast repair. He was collected in that. I think other cars like Patrick Stein might be okay, and Rogerson and Matt Watford, I think those guys are probably going to be getting another shot at it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, just the way that the entire track closed off there, and those guys couldn't check up fast enough to stay out of it. It took out a lot of cars there, but we'll see. Hopefully most of them have their fast repairs left and can get back out here.
Couple of fakers, couple of makers coming down here onto pit road. Zach deciding to stay out. Looks like everybody's staying out. Looks like maybe the first car on pit road is going to be John Sanu. John was the free pass recipient last time by, and him, David Contreras, Mark Schrader, all caught up in that wreck just a moment ago here.
Yeah, I see our former leader there, 78 of Bob Rogerson. He's going to get the opportunity after that wave around now to come down and get his car serviced. We'll see if he can make his way back up to the front again these last 23 laps now that he's on the lead lap and has the fresh tires again.
Let's see. I don't know where my... Is this 2 to go? Is this still 2 to go here?
Yeah, it looks like it. Lights are still on the pace car. Lucky Dog just went around.
I think they're coming to 1 to go here, so yeah. Looks like there's a lot of comms on race control here. I'm curious what's going on. I'm going to step in there, step away and see what's going on. Get you guys a report when I come right back.
Sounds good. We're going to go ahead and, while you step away, we'll see if we can't get a word in here with... Oh, hell, it's not letting me. Well, never mind. We'll get a word in with Tyler Beeman, so...
Yes, sir. I'm watching watching that 35 of Dusty Martin. He looks racy. He's doing some tire warming moves, and I think he's excited to represent Bullydog Coffee Company there in third place. He's looking racy.
Yeah, he is. Great run out here, and I believe Dusty, I heard that he's racing from kind of a mobile setup right now, currently running in going to be the third position here. I'm going to go on board with Brian Dorsey, see if we can't get a good look at that loveapitrescue.com on the back of Dusty Martin here as we double stack and we get ready to go racing here for what will be the fourth time tonight here. And this is going to be go time here, Tyler. I mean, at this point, you're going to have probably about 20 laps to go here as we go back green. All these guys are going to be pushing forward at this point. A lot of guys already burned that fast repair. If you're up front, you know, what are you going to do here to try to make sure that you win this race?
Pretty much have a good restarts, and I don't think in a series like this, it's fairly clean. It's not a huge field. I think you can't count on caution after caution. You need to get a good restart every time and assume you're going to have a good green run to the finish. I mean, that's very Cyber Thunder-esque, as we say at Mad Sim Racing. Long green runs are definitely likely in any series in this league. And you can't just, you got to be, you can serve, but you got to go. It's difficult with this amount of laps left. You can burn those tires up and have nothing the last 5 laps or so and give it away pretty quickly, I think.
Yep, absolutely. iRacing.com pace car going to make that hard left-hand turn down pit road this time by Zach Shahalis, choosing the top shelf of the speedway as we go green here for the 5th time here tonight at Homestead Miami Speedway. Big jump by Eric Moore. That's going to put Eric Moore at the point going down into turn number 1 here with 20 laps to go on the board.
Yeah, I was really surprised to see Zach take that outside lane. I mean, the inside has worked so well for him. He got a good pull on the last restart, but yeah, he took the outside. He's given up the lead now to Eric Moore.
Well, that could also be some team communication there between the Chavoda cars. We saw Bill take the top side when he was the race leader a couple of restarts ago, and worked really well for him. But unfortunately, it's going to slide Zach into the 2nd position here, as there's a big battle now for the 3rd place position.
Yeah, we got Dusty Martin on the outside, and Brian Dorsey underneath him. Slides up a little bit, no contact though, still running clean.
Yep. Battle for 3rd place, still side by side. Ooh, a little bit of a slide maybe by the 9. 35's gathering it back up, trying to stay out of the wall.
Yeah, he definitely had to check up to keep out of the wall there. Cost him position, maybe 2 here. Yeah, 2, maybe 3. Jason Dinsmore is on the inside of Dusty Martin now, trying to take that position as well, as David Rogerson got by him also.
2 and 3 wide down the front stretch, coming with 18 laps to go this time by on the scoring charts. Everybody coming at you into turn 3 and 4. Eric Moore continues to lead. I believe that was 2 of our picks up here. Who did you pick, Tyler?
I had Bill Jett.
You did pick Bill. All right.
Well, Bill's definitely not out of it yet. He's running in 7th. He's got a clean car there.
Car in the wall in the back of the field here. Rob Rogerson. Great night going bad for that 78 machine as he scrapes that wall into turn number 1. He's going to keep that car out of any oncoming traffic. Head back up here to the battle for the lead.
Yeah, unfortunately, you see that all too often. You get yourself in a situation where you get a little bad luck like he did with his pit stop at the wrong time, and then you start pushing hard trying to make up the time you lost and overdrive it, get in the wall a little bit, make a mistake, and your night goes bad really quick.
Now, we talked about this last week, Crank, with a little bit less laps to go, though. Zach Chahal is currently running 2nd place. if you're Zach right now, are you content running in second place, kind of letting Eric set the pace on this race, or are you going to go and try to make that pass now, as he looks to be a little bit faster than the 5 machine?
No, I would definitely sit there and ride. I would let Eric set the pace, and I would push him if he's going a little bit too slow. But I would try to save my tires as much as possible for those last 4 or 5 laps.
Well, that's to see how Zach decides to play it out. Brian Dorsey, we were talking about him a few minutes ago. As one of our drivers that always finds his way up here towards the end of the race, and he's currently running third. Big slide by the 24 out of turn number 4. He's going to have to cool those tires down this time.
Yeah, so I guess that answers it. He's laying back, pushing hard, isn't he?
Going to move up to the higher line, and that's going to give the 5 car a little bit of a good lead. And now the 9 car, and he's going to make the pass low on the 24. They're not quite clear him. He's going to go for it again in turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, I think that little push up by the 24 wasn't intentional. I think after he's got those tires all heated up, and he didn't have a choice but to let it slide up a little bit. But they're side by side. The 9 and the 24s, they come across the line going down into turn 1. Eric Moore is loving this. If he can have guys racing for second right behind him, it's going to let him take his time, save those tires, and have everything left for the end of the race.
It's still side by side, this time again coming into 3 and 4.
But you know what, though? We're just over 10 laps to go here in this race. Neither one of these guys can, if one of these guys just lets the other one get in front of them, they'll both be faster. But with just 10 laps to go here, they're not able to, at this point in the race, play nice with each other and say, all right, I'm going to follow you up to the 5, or you follow me up to the 5. Both of these guys trying to be the first car in line to chase down the 5s. It looks like Brian with a slide job out of 4 and a crossover from Zach.
Yeah, they're going on lap 3 of being side by side. They're clear of each other for the moment, but Zach is eyeing him again, trying to do the crossover.
Yeah, that goes back to what Tyler was talking about earlier about the discipline and knowing when to push it, when to be patient, conserve tires. Like you said, we're coming to 10 to go, and I think the right thing to do is to be disciplined, be patient, get nose to tail before you damage your tires any more than possible, or more than you have to, and you have a chance to catch a leader.
Yeah, caution's out. I was going to say, not only does the leader get more distant, but those cars behind you become even closer. So caution's out again.
Yellow Silk on the speedway for the 5th time tonight here as we come around and take 10 laps to go here, this time by Eric Moore, Brian Dorsey, Zach Chahalis, and Dave Rogerson still running up in the 4th position. Gonna have to see what the pit strategy might be here. I got to imagine that they're probably all coming down pit road, but maybe somebody in the back makes a bold strategy call and maybe tries to stick this one out here. I mean, we saw it work for the Rogersons before when they led 30 laps.
Yeah, they've been out here a little longer than I would want to. Patrick Stein, he's only been out for about 14 laps. John Sanu, 12 laps. Those guys, I mean, if they took a gamble, I don't think they would be in bad shape. I think they might be able to hold off for a while up there. We're probably going to go back green with, maybe 6 laps to go, 5 laps to go?
Probably something like that. We got our GoPro set up at the entrance to pit road here. We're going to see who decides to come in, who decides to stay out. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fakers and a lot of makers coming down pit road. Eric Moore looking at pit road. Got the nose pointed coming down there. He's going to bring the entire field.
Yeah, it looks like we didn't have any takers stay out. Everybody came down. That's a little surprising. I think we may see some guys gamble and try to take 2 tires. I don't know if I would advise that. It's probably going to be super, super loose, but I bet we see it.
Well, we're watching the race off pit road here. Dusty Martin in that pit stall number 1. We've seen it so many times over the years. Pit stall number 1 leading the race off pit road. Brian Dorsey, first car off pit road. He might be on 2 tires, followed by Eric Moore coming out in the 2nd spot.
So this will either work out really well or possibly very, very bad for the number 9 and anybody around him if he gets super loose and loses control. on those 2 tires. I know in these cars it has a tendency to do that when you only take 2 tires, especially at a track that's already really loose.
And we do have, don't forget about the one green white checker that we do have scheduled here tonight. If it is needed, we do have one green white checkered available to these drivers to use.
So I'll go back since we're under caution here a little bit and talk about when I left to go listen to the race control and see what was going on. So across all 3 of our series here in Cyber Thunder, we do caution claim. So if you're involved in a caution and you're at fault and you claim it, we ask you to claim it. If not, we send it to a drivers committee after the race. So I was curious what was going on with the number 3 because he was involved in 2 of them, and I knew he had done the self spin where it was clearly his fault, and then when he got into gain fourth, that was fairly questionable. But it's a 2 and park series, so if you cause 2, we ask you to park here. Um, I think they decided they were going to send that to a race or a drivers committee, as they thought it might have been a racing incident. But clearly, this last one, the number 3 of Cole Gray has claimed that one as well, and has taken that beast back to the hauler. I think he's done for the night.
That's unfortunate to hear. Going to see if we can't catch up with the driver of the number 15 machine. We've made our way down to the infield care center. Matt, Wofford, Crank, Tom, and Tyler up here in the cyber booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, I see your messages out here. Looks like a blown motor on that number 15 machine. Really unfortunate. You were running really strong. How was the racing out there tonight?
It was dicey. I was trying to push to the front, see what my car could do, and I was going to ease on back, but then I got caught up in that mid-race wreck, so that threw everything into proportion. And I think I was coming back from a lap down, and I ended up getting loose off 4, and then hit the wall, so I had to pit. And I tried to stay caught up with the pack. I was within a lap, and I ended up having to go back, and I ended up blowing the engine.
Well, tough break for you out here tonight. Certainly running strong. We're going to let you go ahead and enjoy the finish of this race the best that you possibly can. Unfortunate luck, and looking forward to having you back out here when you're ready next week, which I believe is going to be at Dover.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that place. I love that place.
All right, Matt. Well, we'll catch up with you a little bit later here tonight. We're going green here for the 6th time tonight with under 10 laps to go. Brian Dorsey going to be working on 2 Goodyear tires, and Eric Moore on the outside working on 4. So we'll have to see how that plays out for these 2 drivers here.
This is going to be a nerve-wracking restart for that low line and for the 24 Zach Jahalis to see how that tire strategy pays out for the 9 car.
Everybody waiting on the green flag over the speedway this time by 7 laps to go here. Brian Dorsey with the loud pedal down here coming through the start-finish line. Looks like he's going to be dead even with Eric Moore headed down into turn number 1.
Yeah, good restart by the 9 into turn 1 and 2. He's going to hold the lead. 24 is going to look inside of the number 5 coming out of turn number 2.
Yeah, we went to 6 to go as they cross the line. It'll be interesting to see if Brian Dorsey can hang on to it with those 2 tires going through 3 and 4 here. Looks like Eric Moore is sticking that nose down underneath a little bit, and Chahalish right on his tail.
Everybody chasing the 9 machine. Brian Dorsey working 2 tires. Looks like Bill Jetty with a big move underneath Dusty Martin, trying to work for the 4th position currently, headed down here with 5 laps remaining.
Oh, I see Patrick Stein up in the wall a little bit. Looks like he hangs on to it, keeps it going. Jason Dinsmore, opposite from last week where he tried to push the fuel strategy all the way. He's on the same fuel and tires as everybody else, and he's trying to work his way up towards the front.
He has 4 laps to go this time around. Brian Dorsey sets the pace coming through turns 1 and 2, but Eric Moore is closed into a 3-car length distance between him and the 9 machine. We're going to have to see if he can't get up there. Getting there is one thing, but also catching him is another. We saw a late race pass last week between Cole Gray and Eric Moore, and Eric is still kind of burning on that one. He wants to come back here and win this race here tonight for RST Timberworks.
Yeah, I like where he's at. He looked like he's closing in even more. The top 3 are still the same from that restart, and they pulled a slight gap over 4th on back. but the 5 car is looking strong. I think he's going to get that overtake. It's only a matter of laps here.
Yeah, I think Eric played it nice and conservative those first couple laps while he was letting the air pressures come up and his tires heat up a little bit, stabilize. I think he's going to start pushing pretty hard now. He rolled through 3 and 4 really well down low and was able to get a pretty good run on Dorsey. Don't look now, though. Zach Chahalis is pulling a move as well. He had a run on Eric that turn.
Yeah, once they start fighting the 5 and the 9, that 24 is there. As I see a car spun out, looks like we're still under green.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It looks like it was the 35, our pole sitter, Dusty Martin, spun out.
Out of turn number 2 with 2 laps to go here. Eric Moore closing now to about a 1 car length difference between him and Brian Dorsey, and Zach Chahalis waiting in the weeds, hoping that these guys get a battle in here. Put the white silk out over the speedway over Homestead, Miami.
He's got to get up there. The 5 has got to get there. He's running out of time.
He gets a good run going into 1 there. This will be coming out of 2 for the last time. Looks like Dorsey is gonna pull on him just a hair here going down the backstretch. So we'll see if he can drive her in there deep into turn 3 and make up any more ground.
Into turns 3 and 4 for the final time out here tonight on the Cyber Thunder Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Star Series. Brian Dorsey going to be coming home with the big checkered flag out here tonight at Homestead Miami Speedway.
What a strategy payoff that was. That was excellent.
Yeah, really great call by that 9 machine. Supporting the education out there in that Chevy Impala Taurus. Looks like he's got Ford logos on that beast out there. We're going to go ahead. We're going to step away for just a few minutes. We're going to get your Cyber Thunder post-race show here in just a few minutes. We'll have your top 3 post-race finishers.
And we're back with the post-race show on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network. Zach Chahalis, Tyler up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, Tyler.
So you were up there all night in that Chevrolet Motorsports 24 car. We were watching you all night in the top 5. How'd that come down to it? Were you waiting for the 5 and the 9 to battle it out and try to make your move up there?
I that one restart where I was leading and Eric just got by me. Ever since then, I just couldn't really get it back. But I figured the 9 with 2 tires wasn't gonna be able to hold it. And then Eric just couldn't get with him either. So it worked out differently than I thought it would. But definitely proud of a 3rd place finish for my team. Just wish it was a little bit more.
You guys were strong. What were you thinking on that final restart? Were you being behind the 9 in particular, not being sure about his 2-tire strategy? What was your plan there?
I was somewhat anticipating him to watch up in the corner and either check Eric up or possibly take him out, and I would just be able to go by. But just optimistic thinking on that one.
Yeah, well, that was an excellent race for you and Chavoda Motorsports. Anybody you want to give a shout out to? Sponsors, family, friends?
Yeah, do want to thank Bullydog Coffee Company for sponsoring the series. Very much do appreciate their support for everything. Do want to call out Carter Racing Paints. He provides all the paints for our team and a couple other folks. Does a stellar job. So if you're looking for a paint job, hit him up. Otherwise, hi to the league, hi to my family. Appreciate everyone.
Yeah, good run, good podium finish for Zach Jahalis in the 24 Shavoda Motorsports machine. And we'll turn it over to Crank Bell with the second place finisher.
All right, Eric. Hey, Crank Bell up here in the booth. Tom and Tyler Beeman talking to you again. Second week in a row, P2 finish. How you feeling, buddy?
It was a good run. I shocked him. 2 tires held up for Brian, but I mean, congrats to him for sure.
Yeah, we were all surprised as well. We thought he was going to be probably really, really loose, and you guys were going to be able to get by him really quick, and he held on. So we're excited to talk to him in a little bit, see how he did it. But let's talk about your race, man. I mean, you are the epitome of a smooth, consistent, tire conserving machine. I mean, you look good all the way through this. Your teammates there with Dusty Martin and Eric or Cole Gray started up near the front and were pretty dominant early on as well. But you were the one that was there at the end again. So, what's your secret, man?
I just save tires. These cars, especially on these tracks like this, they just eat the tires. Right sides gone quick. So I just do my best to conserve tires.
So, talking about Brian, the 2 tires there, were you expecting him to not be able to hold a line and wash up, or were you worried about him spinning out, or what were you thinking was going to happen there?
I definitely thought coming off 4 he'd get loose and I'd be able to get around him. I was kind of hoping he'd take the outside because the inside's the place to be on the start. I think Zach noticed that on the restart before this. But I was hoping he'd take the outside, and then I was hoping he'd get loose coming out of 4 also, and it just didn't happen. He wheeled it for sure, kept her down there.
Yeah, it was a great race all the way around, and he was able to hold on to it, surprised us all. So it's awesome to see you again here, getting a P2 second week in a row. You keep getting these consistent finishes, podium finishes. You're going to be setting well at the end of the season for championship points. So just keep it up. Those wins will come. You're going to get them soon, that's for sure. You got anybody out there you want to give a shout out to, say thank you, anything like that?
Yeah, you guys in the booth. I mean, allows everybody at home to watch it. Kind of gives people something to do. Bullydog Coffee Company for sponsoring the league. And RST Timberworks for the car, and everybody at Longshot Motorsports.
All right, Eric. Appreciate you coming up. You ran a good race. I know you're a little disappointed again, but like I said, those wins will come. So we're going to cut you loose and see if we can bring our race winner up here.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, Brian, it's Tyler in the Cyber Thunder booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got your book.
So we just talked to, it looked like you had a two tire strategy there at the end that got you a restart from the lead. And we just talked to 2 surprised drivers that finished behind you. You put on a clinic there. You held on to it through the end. How did your race go up to that point through the entire thing?
Talking to the 3rd surprise driver, because I absolutely cannot stand this track. Never had any luck at this track. I can't figure it out, either overdrive it or underdrive it. But when there's a caution, I don't know, lap 4 or 5, I stayed out, and then I ended up coming back in. I saw everybody pit. I didn't think anybody was going to pit. And I saw people pit it, so I came back around. I was like, I'm just going to pit, get the back of the field, just cruise for a little bit. And I checked my tires. The left sides weren't that bad, so I kind of just stored that in the back of my mind. And I knew that in that last caution, if I took 2, it was going to be tough to pass, especially, the car's pretty loose on new tires. So I said, I had nothing to lose. So I just went for 2, and it worked.
It absolutely worked. I mean, I think we even were calling like, the 9s or the 5, it's only a matter of time he'll get by him. And time ran out, and you held on to the win. What were your thoughts on that final restart? Were you a little concerned that you might struggle on the restart with just the 2 tires, or what were you thinking on that one?
Basically, I knew it was going to work for me, or I was going to drop straight to the back. Like I said, I had nothing to lose, and this track, I just never figured this track out. So the fact that I was happy. I would have been happy with the top 10. So when that green flag started, I was happy with the race. As long as I didn't wreck, I was good.
Is this now one of your top favorite tracks, or are you still not a big fan of it?
Not a big fan. I think we're here again tomorrow, so I'm not looking forward to it. I actually thought about skipping the night.
Well, thankfully you didn't. I mean, that was a great win, a great strategy, great pit strategy. and congratulations on that win. Anyone you want to thank? Any sponsors, family, friends out there?
Nah, man, I just appreciate Bullydog Coffee Company for putting this on. They allow us to come out here, and obviously the admin and stuff like that for hosting this league. A bunch of good guys. I enjoy racing in it.
Brian Dorsey in the number 9 machine, the winner of tonight's race at Homestead Miami Speedway in the Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series race. Back to Tom Richter.
Yeah, really great race throughout the course of the season. We're going to go ahead and start our Cyber Thunder post-race show. We're going to bring some business to order here. We're going to go ahead and run down your finishing positions out here tonight. Coming home with the big win on the speedway out here, Brian Dorsey, we just talked to him. Eric Moore, second week in a row, comes home with the top 3 finish, and Zach Chahalis coming home with the podium as well. Bill Jetty probably going to be extending his points lead over here in the Cyber Thunder Racing League Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series. Next Wednesday night, live from Dover International Speedway, and Dave Rogerson rounding out the top 5 with another great run here on the Wednesday night.
In 6th place, Jason Dinsmore. Paul Turner coming home strong in 7th. Jerry Isaacs, Mad Sim Racing, 8th place. A good top 10 for Jerry. Glad to see it. Dalton Carter in P9 and David Gainforth in P10.
Yeah, coming away in 11th there was Patrick Stein. He had a good steady race the whole time through. He just got in the wall a little bit on that last run, backed him up. Followed by the 86 of Johnson New in 12th. The pole setter Dusty Martin had issues there at the end on that last run. Did a little self spin and took him out of contention. He comes home 13th. Followed by David Contreras in the 14th and Cole Gray in 15th.
Yeah, tough nights for Rob Rogerson. He came back in 16th after running in the front for the early part of the race. Matt Watford, also a tough night, in 17th, and Mark Schrader in 18th.
And Michael Stuyvesant rounding out the field of 20 out here tonight. Don't believe he ever was able to actually take a lap to the speedway here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Pulling up schedule one more time next Wednesday night, live from Dover International Speedway. We stay on the East Coast this time. Dover International Speedway, Chicagoland Speedway following that, and then Iowa going to be the next 3 races on deck for the Cyber Thunder Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series. We're going to be bringing you the action live here every single Wednesday night. Go ahead, click that subscribe button, get notified every time we go live here throughout the course of the season from now until the end of June. But that was a phenomenal race. Tyler, Crank, I mean, we saw a lot of different strategies. We saw the Rogersons leading a good portion of that race, a lot of different tire strategy, and ultimately tire strategy is what wound up winning Brian Dorsey the race on 2 good years.
Yeah, that was impressive. Like we talked about through all the drivers' interviews there. I mean, I don't think anybody saw that coming, including the race winner Brian. He said, "Look, this is either going to come out great or I'm going to drop to the rear." But he learned a little something on those early cautions, put it to use at the end, and was able to pull away with the lead and took the win. So good for him. It was another great race. A lot of side-by-side action, a lot of strategy going on. A few more cautions than we have towards the end of the season in this series, so we'll start seeing that clean up a little bit. But overall, another great race. Enjoyed calling it with you. Enjoyed Tyler being in the booth with us, and I'm looking forward to going to the Monster Mile next week. It should be fun seeing these cars out there on the concrete.
Yeah, very different style of racing. And Tyler, it's been a pleasure having you join us out here tonight for the race. Do you think we can maybe do this again in the future? I know you're just running this series part-time.
Yeah, I'd love to come back out. It's the first time I've done any kind of broadcasting in over 10 years. I'm from the NASCAR 2003 season days, and I did a little bit of broadcasting back in those days, and a little rusty, knocking the rust off, but it takes me back, and I love doing it, love hanging out. This is a great series for it. It's a perfect series to follow. A great race tonight, great strategy, close racing, somewhere on the track for the entire race. So I'll be out here anytime I can get out here.
Well, certainly looking forward to a great season ahead. One more time, drivers can head over, and fans of the Bullydog Coffee Company Rising Stars Series, head on over to bullydogcoffeecompany.com. Use promo code Homestead for $3 off your order this week, and we'll have another offer for you next week, another challenge for you next week as the fans head out of Homestead Miami Speedway. We're going to make our way up to Dover International Speedway next week, but congratulations to Brian Dorsey on coming home with the big black and white checkered flag out here tonight. That's going to do it for the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network out here tonight. Thank you all for coming out, and we will see you next time on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network.